All right, and welcome into the Fantasy Pros Fantasy Football Podcast. It's the Week 8 Primer episode, which means it's officially time to bring you the top bye week replacements. We're providing fantasy managers shelter this week during Bye-nado with our top 6 sleepers that have matchups to exploit. I'm your host, Seth Woolcock, and I'm joined by a man who some are calling the Alec Pierce Whisperer, while others are calling him the Christian Kirk Grim Reaper. He's the author of the weekly FP Primer. He's Derek Brown. How's it hanging this week, D, bro?
It's a good call, man. Yeah, one call went sideways with an injury. Another call, I got tagged in social media and Discord and stuff. People are like, Alec Pierce won me a week, and it's you take the good with the bad, Seth. That's kind of where we're at in the fantasy season. You take the good with the bad, and you can't enjoy the W's if you can't sit here and stomach the L's. That's how it goes, dude.
You got to have a thick gut. You got to have a thick gut for this game. That is absolutely for sure. And before we jump in, shout out to everyone tuning in with us either on the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel or the audio feed. Thank you so much for all the support this season. Please give this video a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new to help us get to 300,000 subscribers. Also, if you want a chance to win a signed A.J. Brown Philadelphia Eagles jersey for free, courtesy of our friends over at pristineauction.com, all you need to do is head to fantasypros.com/contest, complete the form, and either A, download the Fantasy Pros app, B, leave a review for the Fantasy Pros Fantasy Football Podcast, or C, follow us on X, Instagram, or TikTok. We're at Fantasy Pros. The more actions you complete, the more entries you're going to receive, and we will announce a winner right here on the podcast near the beginning of next month. So if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss a moment of fantasy football action this season, and also so you can be alerted when you are that lucky winner and to claim your prize. And Derek Brown, let's jump right into the primer with your favorite sleeper start at the quarterback position. You're going old school with this one.
Yeah, dude, I know the Icy Hot Bowl is coming past us, but I don't think the time has passed too far on Joe Flacco, man. QB 14 in ECR. He's got a QB 15, QB 6 finish under his belt with the Bengals. I think he's going to headed for another QB 1 week, man. Like, I'm willing to start Joe Flacco over like Jordan Love, Caleb Williams, other guys that are at the bottom end of that QB 1 range. And it comes down to a few different factors, Seth. Like, one, the Jets can't pressure, man. Like, they are not going to be able to get after Joe Flacco in this game. 10th lowest pressure rate in this season. Sauce Gardner might not play. He's dealing with a concussion. So if that's going to be the case, like, wheels up for Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And this Jets pass defense hasn't been good, even with Sauce on the freaking field this year. They've given up the 12th highest yards per attempt and the 8th most passing touchdowns. So, Seth, in the year of our Lord, 2025, in week 8, all roads lead back to Joe Flacco. And I feel good about it.
Well, I'm glad you do, and honestly, you probably should. We've already seen 2 quarterbacks this season take the Jets for 2 touchdowns, one of those being an old head in Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. You also had Dak going for 4 touchdowns a couple weeks ago. Every quarterback that they have faced, the Jets have at least scored 1 passing touchdown, except for Josh Allen back in that weird week 2 game where the Bills got out early, didn't really need any help there. So Joe Flacco certainly in start consideration for you this week. And as you said, I think it also gives us a bit of confidence in Jamar Chase and T. Higgins this week, especially if Sauce Gardner is rolled out. Who do you think he would shadow in that one? Do you think it would be him following Chase, or do you think,
I think it's Chase. I think it's Chase if he follows somebody. And they would, if Sauce does play, they would have him follow somebody only because, I mean, dude, we talked about it in previous episodes all year. Brandon Stevens is not playing good football. Regardless of whoever's in the slot for the Jets, is a similar story. So they got to try to like slow down the Bengals passing attack some way. And one of the ways would be to shut down Jamar Chase.
Derek, let's go to the running back position where only 1 sleeper start for you this week. We have 3 wide receivers, 1 running back. It's a mess still at this position, but you are targeting the gift that just keeps on giving.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it really, the secret sauce and the easy button for here. And I know Tyler Allgeier is on the injury report this week. I get that, but this is assuming he plays. He's an RB28 in ECR, and that's too low considering the simple secret sauce with Tyler Allgeier seems to be, if you think the Falcons are going to win, and they're favored in this game this week, if you think they're going to win, flex Tyler Allgeier. In Atlanta's wins this year, Seth, he has 14.6 touches per game, 56.3 total yards, 3 touchdowns in those 3 wins. And then we talk about the matchup. The Dolphins can't stop anybody through the air, but they can't stop anybody through the ground, man. They're giving up the most rushing yards per game, the highest explosive run rate, and the second highest yards of the contact per attempt. So pick your narrative here. Atlanta wins, flex Tyler Allgeier. The matchup's great, flex Tyler Allgeier. It all roads lead back to if Tyler Allgeier is going to be a full go this week, not only is it okay, crush all the Bijan overs and the betting markets this week, it's also look to Tyler Allgeier to provide probably a touchdown and 50 to 60 total yards on the ground. And if Atlanta truly just runs away with this, and this is blowout fashion in the fourth quarter, dude, Tyler Allgeier might get like 17, 18 touches. If they pull the starters and Allgeier just salting the clock away, that could be the case. But this all leads back to he's an RB3 in rankings. Dude, he might be like, he's honestly a strong RB2 play this week.
Well, and sometimes I do like to take my cues from the betting markets where currently we're having Tyler Allgeier. His rushing attempts line came in over under 9.5. The rushing yards line over 40 right now.
What's his anytime touchdown?
Plus 135. So it's...
Dude, that tells you, again, that goes back to it. Like, and tell me this, if Tyler Allgeier is healthy and he gets to, with the betting markets, could you see that actually getting steamed up to where it's minus money? I think it can happen.
It could, honestly. And like, you look at what the Falcons like to do. They like to run the ball. They're fourth in team run plays per game in the NFL. Tyler Allgeier, top 36 in carries right now, Derek. So he's been sneaky. He's been a guy that if the Bijan manager doesn't have him, I've been trying to, sniff around and get him as an RB2 play for this very week coming up. So I love the call there. Let's go to the wide receivers. But before we do, I wanted to remind everyone that you can dominate your fantasy football league with FantasyPros Premium, now available for free for 6 months when you deposit and place your first wager at any of our partner sportsbooks. And yes, that includes Hard Rock Bet. This is the easiest way to get full access to our top fantasy football tools all season long. Go to fantasypros.com/premium to get yourself started. And Derek, let's get ourselves started at the wide receiver position where you're going back to that New York Jets versus Cincinnati Bengals matchup.
And I'm going to give some caveats here. I know the quarterback play has not been good for the Jets, and for this player to pay off as a flex play, and I'm telling you right now, Seth, he is out there in so many different leagues. He is sitting on the waiver wire in so many leagues.
Yes.
So if you were in desperation mode, and right now, as of recording this right now, like, we're getting news out there that, like, okay, AJ Brown is missing another practice. Like, does he play this week? There's a ton of other banged up wide receivers. Does Ricky Pearsall play? Do we see other guys that are going to play, or maybe the injuries hold them out this week? Again, like, we're still in the win with Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel. Like, it sounds like the news is good, but if both of those guys sit this week, would anybody be that surprised?
No.
But this all leads back to, if you are struggling and Garrett Wilson is out this week, people need to seriously consider flexing Josh Reynolds. And yes, I know I'm holding my nose saying this, but we got 6 teams on a bye. We've got a litany of injuries just dominating everybody's flex options, even high-end wide receiver options this week. So this is not crazy, people. I just want to illuminate, like, he did not do a ton with the target volume last week, but if Garrett Wilson is out, Seth, Josh Reynolds could be in for the same type of workload that he got last week. He got 9 targets, and his usage was as a true wide receiver one. Like, Josh Reynolds got a 26.5% target share last week. He got a 46% air yard share. He got almost a 37% first read share. So if this is the type of usage, and then we talk about this wide receiver goes against the Cincinnati Bengals secondary, and the Jets are going to have to throw the freaking ball this week, yeah, dude, he's a wide receiver 3 if Wilson is out. I know it sounds gross, but we're following, again, we don't have to make it this freaking hard in fantasy, Seth. Again, let's just go back to the easy narrative. Volume is king, and if Wilson is out, Josh Reynolds is going to see a lot of it this week.
Well, it's a game, too, that I do expect the Jets to once again trail. I know Cincy, not the best defense, not the best offensive line, but we know, especially after seeing what Joe Flacco did in primetime last week on Thursday night, like, he's going to air the ball out. He's going to push the pace. The Bengals are going to continue to operate at a quicker pace. And Josh Reynolds, up until last week, Derek, he was really that guy who's like, he's running a ton of routes, right? Like, high route participation guy, doing some wind sprints. But now we're starting to see at least the opportunity arise. What he can do with that production-wise, I mean, that's always the question with Josh Reynolds because he's kind of just a guy, right?
But that's the question of all of these wide receiver 3s and 4s. We're talking about it entire this video. I'm not packaging any of these guys and trying to tell people that they're not dice rolls. But when you got a litany of injuries and you got 6 teams on a bye, bro, you're going to need some of these dice rolls to pay off if you want to win this week. So you're going to have to play them.
Kind of feels like, going to Taco Bell after midnight. Rolling the dice a little bit. It might be great.
Don't you hate on Taco Bell. Don't you dare do it.
I'm just saying.
I know. I know that there are better places to get tacos. But if it's 3 a.m., there ain't no better places that are open to get tacos. And tacos are tacos, dude, okay?
So that's what I'm saying. You could wake up Monday and you could feel great. And you could be smiling that you started Josh Reynolds. Or your stomach might be a little upset. That's
you could be driving the porcelain bus. You're right.
Yes.
Could be.
Derek, you're not gonna let that happen though, especially with this next wide receiver that's targeting a very friendly secondary as well.
Yeah, we're not driving a porcelain bus. We're sitting on a throne for this one. It's Troy Franklin, man. Wide receiver 33 in ECR. You're with Troy Franklin. You're not only going with really good usage. This guy is set to have a monster game. I hope it's this week. The matchup lines up that it's probably this week. If it's not this week, I get it, and I'm sorry. But Troy Franklin already has 3 top 36 wide receiver weekly finishes under his belt. He's third on the team in deep targets. We'll get to in a second why that matters. This guy is quietly, Seth, and I don't think a lot of people realize this. He is quietly 5th in the entire freaking NFL in red zone targets.
Yep.
Now, has he been scoring touchdowns in bunches? No. He scored last week, and dude, he could score again this week. And if he does that and the volume comes back, because he had 10 targets last week, we know that you can get at the Cowboys through the air. If Dak and the offense can get it done, Bo Nix is maybe trailing in this game. I mean, heck, we saw what the Giants did to them last week. What do you think the Dallas Cowboys can do this week? And I'm not saying they're a bad defense, but if that is the case and Dak and that offense can still move the ball at will, then Bo Nix and company are going to be in trail mode, and Troy Franklin's going to pay off for people against a secondary that, again, going back to the deep role in the passing offense, they've given up the most deep passing yards per game, the most deep passing touchdowns. Hello, Troy Franklin. And they've given up the most PPR points per target to perimeter wide receivers. Again, hello, Troy Franklin. Hopefully you're the savior for all of our flex spots for this week.
I would love it, man. And you mentioned the red zone targets have been awesome. The target share itself, 33.3% of the time, he's getting a look down there in between the 1 and the 20. It's been glorious, man. 3rd in the entire NFL in that metric. So this also proved to be a Denver Broncos offense last week, Derek, that when they got behind against the Giants, I thought maybe we'd see a little bit more balance. Obviously, they went in the 4th quarter. They're down big. They need to score. And Bo Nix just uncorked it. And Sean Payton was not afraid to let him uncork it. And I think we see something similar in this game with them likely having to put up points against the Cowboys. So I'm with you there. I like Bo Nix. I like the entire Denver Broncos in this spot where they're going to be forced to throw. I hate to tell everyone who's sitting on RJ Harvey, and if you're trying to maybe bet J.K. Dobbins, I know he's been automatic for his rushing prop every single week. This might be the week I fade those Broncos running backs and up these wide receivers, including Marvin Mims as well.
Yeah, I'm not against, and I could easily, I didn't want to go 2 Broncos. You can't go full Broncos.
Yeah.
At the same time, yes, like if people are in deeper leagues, Marvin Mims is absolutely worth a flex play here because, again, the matchup, he gets usage. He gets downfield targets. He actually quietly leads the team in deep targets. Okay. So Marvin Mims, another good shout out, Seth. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to your last wide receiver sleeper start this week. And Derek, we're at the point in the season where we have to put the draft takes, the prospect takes aside, and we have to look at opportunity. And one Tez Johnson has down there in New Orleans this week is as good as it gets.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And look, like Emeka Egbuka at the time of recording this, like I think he plays, but we don't freaking know.
Right.
Like he's still dealing with a hamstring issue. He opened the week with a DMP. So is he going to play? We don't know. We're all collectively holding our breath, everybody in fantasy, because just adding another wide receiver on top of the pile of injured guys right now. I don't want that to happen, but Tez Johnson is worth the flex, whether Egbuka plays or not. Mike Evans out. Chris Godwin's not going to play.
Yep. Bucky out.
So you're looking at a guy. Yeah, Bucky's out. So you're looking at a guy that could easily be number 2, number 3 in the passing attack. Heck, he could be the number 1 in the passing attack if Egbuka misses. And the Saints defense, They've gone really single high heavy, 59% of their defensive snaps. And over the last 2 weeks against single high, like Tez Johnson is getting work, man. 18% target per route run rate, 2.06 yards per route run. So again, Saints secondary giving up production, 4th most PPR points per target to perimeter wide receivers. Baker's going to sling it. We know that is a given.
Mm-hmm.
And if Bake's going to be targeting people downfield, it's going to be Tez Johnson, man. So definitely worth a flex play.
He's just so shifty, and like, I know he's not a big guy. I know the speed isn't there, and that was really why you and I were critical in the process about him not working.
But he's
in the
tiny.
NFL.
But if they're going to use him in motion and down the field, I mean, you have to be able to get your hands on him and press him. And if you can't do that, then yes, he's going to get open. So part of that comes down to too. If you can't press him, then yeah, he's going to rumble, dude.
Well, that's exactly what we saw down the stretch at Oregon last year. And to that point, number 3 in the entire NFL in target separation, also being efficient with what he's getting from Baker Mayfield as well. 17th in fantasy points per target. Also, number 12 in quarterback rating per target. So Baker has success targeting this rookie so far this season. He did it last year with McMillan as well. So I like him to continue to do it in a pretty good spot against the Saints. Maybe the game script isn't what we exactly want, that they'll be trailing, but you never know, man. Rattler has put together at least comparable games where it's not like we're playing the Jets and the Dolphins where we're just going to run down their throat the whole time. So
MVP. And yeah, that's for Tez Johnson, not for Baker.
Yes. Well, Derek, you're our MVP this week, and bring us home with your favorite tight end play, also a 2025 rookie.
Dude, this all comes down to, I don't think this is getting discussed enough, and maybe by the time you're watching this, you've read content, you've checked out the primer, you already know where I'm going with this. But dude, if Cole Kmet is out, he sustained a back injury last week, Colston Loveland absolutely can produce as a tight end 1 this week. DeAndre Swift is banged up. At the time of recording this, we don't know if Swift is going to play. Time of recording this, we don't know if DJ Moore is going to play. So, and Cole Kmet. So again, you need Cole Kmet out for this play to hit. But if that is the case, and with back injuries, I doubt he plays this week. Maybe I'm wrong on that call. And as you're watching this, you're like, Cole Kmet's been practicing. What are you talking about? Assuming Kmet is out this week, Colston Loveland is a wonderful streaming target for tight end. I mean, we're talking about after Cole Kmet was out last week, Colston Loveland had a 70% route share. He had a 22.2% target share and a 33.3% first read share. Those numbers play up all freaking day. So now you match that with also the matchup. Baltimore has given up the 6th most receiving yards per game and the 13th most schedule adjusted fantasy points per game to tight ends. Colston Loveland could be the number 2 target for the Chicago Bears this week. And if that is the case and all these guys are dinged up or out, Colston Loveland could easily be a tight end 1 for this week.
I know the Ravens are coming off the bye. Maybe they're getting a little bit healthier here, Derek, but before that week 7 bye, in week 6, that's all the farther you have to go back for a tight end to pay off against him. Tyler Higbee, 4 for 40 and a score. The week before that, Dalton Schultz, 5 for 60. Travis Kelce, 5 for 48. Like, the game logs just keep on rolling. We had Fannin Jr., David Njoku both show up in week 2 against him. Sam Laporta was fine. Like, everyone they have played has been good. Dalton Kincaid had a nice breakout game in week 1. So I like Colston Loveland. I mean, this is a prospect I think everybody likes. Even with...
And he's out there on waiver wires. That's the other thing. Like, I think it's going under the radar with everybody's like searching for, do I play Mason Taylor? Do I wait for Dalton Kincaid? Do I go with all these other guys and stuff, and the Cade Ottens of the world and stuff? Could have brought his name up here. But I think it's going under the radar where we're not getting enough people talking about Colston Loveland is a really strong streamer this week.
Well, not only is he a streamer, he's a guy that if we do see the breakout game, like a Rondé Gadsden, the second
Can't put
last
the genie
week,
back in the bottle, dude.
Exactly.
Can't do it. That's a good call. Yeah.
Yep. So he might be more than just a streamer.
Because his role was trending up out of the bye week too. Like he was running more routes just in general. So that's a really sharp call. Like, could he be a guy that you pick up and you stream this week? And maybe we're looking at past this. Back injuries kind of get they get fickle really quick, dude. So like
they do.
If Cole Kmet misses any more time, or they just hand the full-time role to Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet gets shoved in the Colston Loveland role, you could see him. Maybe he's a tight end 1 for the rest of the season. That's a really sharp call.
I love Loveland, baby. Let's do it. Let's send it into week 8 with those sleeper starts. That'll do it for us on this episode of the Fantasy Pros Fantasy Football Podcast. Please comment down below your favorite week 8 sleeper starts. We want to hear from you. And while you're here, make sure you're smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel if you're new. For Derek Brown, I'm Seth Woolcock. Take care, y'all.